This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, members of Grand Bahamas business community expressing a degree of uncertainty regarding the plan by the island's electricity supplier to implement a rate adjustment this month. Chamber members are wary about the possible impact this could have on their businesses. Leaders of the chamber recently met with the Grand Bahama Port Authority to discuss the proposed adjustment. The Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce has its share of concerns when it comes to the Grand Bahama Power Company's rate case application. The request by the power company to its regulator, the Grand Bahama Port Authority, has caused much outcry from the public and some organizations who believe that the application may result in an increase. As the voice of the business community, Chamber President Kevin D. Seymour says it was important for them to meet with the power company's regulator.
We take the general view that as a monopoly, the power company is uniquely positioned to determine the length of time over which it recovers its return on investment. That has some implications for the actual cost of energy. And in order for us to be competitive as a jurisdiction, particularly in the industrial sector, we need to come up with creative ways of keeping the cost of doing business low.
Second Vice President Adrian Carey says the chamber recognizes that there is a major issue with the power company's rate case application.
The Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce has a very keen interest in looking at the rate case application from a vantage point of demystifying the rate schedule, the rate structure, and how it impacts balance sheets and income statements across the island. How are our companies going to fare? How are households going to fare? Will it be a decrease in the all-in rate? And exactly how it impacts the overall economy.
Carey says the public can expect to be educated on any implications that can affect households or the business economy.
We opened a meeting. We were very thankful to have had a lot of questions answered. We do very much intend on having subsequent meetings with the regulator as well as the power company, as I would have alluded to earlier, in order to demystify the whole rate case application, maybe quell some fears, get further consideration on what it all means for the economy of Grand Bahama.
In other news, the Grand Bahama Junkanoo Committee says the 2016 New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade was a major success, having attracted over 5,000 spectators. But despite the rave reviews from the organizing committee, some group members in the parade have a different view. They say they are unhappy with the overall preparation and management of the parade. Well, today, members of the committee held a press conference to address some of those concerns. Our Talia Hall reports.
The Grand Bahama Junkanoo Committee responding to the charges made by leaders of 3 participating groups in the New Year's Day Parade. During a press conference on Wednesday afternoon, Grand Bahama Marshal Nuvolari Chottasing addressed allegations made by the New Life Classic dancers in a local daily.
That is total fabrication. All right, the groups themselves pick out where their rest spots would be, and they know they are to meet, or their chief marshal is to meet the grand marshal at the starting lineup at the given time, which was at 5 o'clock. Classic dancers still had costumes being brought in on trailers and trucks at 5:30. At that point, we took it upon ourselves to close the road because we had to get the parade started.
Co-chair of the committee, Allison Smith, said the parade incurred a delay and that caused the delay in the release of the unofficial results. She says statisticians work overtime to have the results available Saturday evening. In the wake of the concerns, leader of the New Life Classic dancers has also called for the resignation of the entire Junkanoo committee. Smith addressed that concern.
When you call for the disbarment of the entire committee, you're actually calling for the disbarment of yourself. And he's being deceptive and in collusion, as far as I'm concerned, not exposing the fact that he is a chairman of a group and he also sits on this board. So you look at this entire committee, the person that is being deceptive is Clifton Francis himself.
Committee member Sean Bowe noting that it all boils down to following the rules that are put in place for the efficient management of Junkanoo.
When groups leaders or group members decide upon themselves to more or less omit the rules or not follow the rules, I think a lot of times we run into problems. The rule clearly states how the Junkanoo parade should be governed.
Cultural Affairs Officer Monique Larry also attending the press conference. She says it's time to stop the finger pointing and to resolve all of the issues.
I don't believe that airing everything out in the public is really good for Junkanoo. I mean, that's the norm, but I just feel as if they've been working together in meetings after meetings prior to the parade. And so the same respect that you gave the committee prior to the parade should be given after the parade.
Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Thanks, Tally. Well, Preston Cunningham is the new local government administrator for the city of Freeport. He was officially welcomed to the island during a courtesy call at the Ministry of Grand Bahama today. Mr. Cunningham has spent some 45 years in the public service. The Crooked Island native has worked in every major family island with the exception of Andros. This is his first posting to Grand Bahama. He replaces outgoing Administrator Charles King, who has been transferred to New Providence, having received a more senior position as Deputy Director at the Department of Local Government. Well, Grand Bahama to get its very own museum. For almost 30 years, a clubhouse near the Garden of the Groves has been closed and in a state of disrepair, but the building is in the process of transformation and will soon be commissioned to chronicle the history of this island. Italia Hall has this story.
It will be a new attraction for locals and tourists to understand the history of Grand Bahama, the construction of Freeport, and all the industries that shaped Freeport into the city that it is today. An abandoned building located near the former Shannon Golf Course is being refurbished to house the museum. CEO of the Grand Bahama Development Company, Graham Terode, says he's excited to see the transformation of this once abandoned property.
A great location. Immediately adjacent to the Garden of the Groves, which is one of the best tourist attractions that we have on the island. And for some time we've felt that we should be, the story of Freeport, the creation of the city of Freeport is such a wonderful story, almost, I think, probably unique, that we've wanted to be able to tell that story to both the local population and also to the wider, broader population and tourists who come to the island as well.
Terode adding that the late Sir Jack Hayward committed himself to renovating this building into the Museum for Grand Bahama.
For the past 9-12 months we've been working on looking at identifying artifacts that can go into the building, clearing the building, clearing all the landscaping that had grown around it, and at the moment with Freecon we're putting on a new roof.
Committee member of the Museum of Grand Bahama, Janet Albury, says the museum will play a pivotal role in the lives of the youth.
We intend to work with the schools to invite the children to come to the museum to learn about the history and to see where and how Freeport started, you know, from fishing villages to the lumber town to an industrial town, etc.
Albury noting that they are partnering with a number of other entities. There is no completion date for the project, but they are optimistic that 2016 will be the year.
We hope that with the generosity of persons and corporations, businesses, local and from away, that they will help to contribute to the funding that will be needed to make this a reality and for us to open the doors sooner rather than later.
It's Talia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. There's more news right after this.